Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli. We fight our country's battles in the air, on land and sea. First to fight for right and freedom. And to keep
on this episode of Cigars and Sea Stories, Mike and Bennett are talking about, well, we're not going to do a recap in the last 2 years. We're celebrating 2 years, and now we're pushing forward.
Right.
And there's a lot of stuff that's all kind of come to a headwater right now, which is fantastic. We've got more people that are involved in the behind the scenes than you could possibly imagine. We have a lot of folks who want to or have already signed on to be advisors of the 5-paragraph business plan, which you can check out at 5paragraph.com. That is in association with Cigars and Sea Stories. That's our product, catalyzing the military experience for, we say patriot, but it's for non-veterans. By all means, take it, work with it, use it. But the show, Cigars and Sea Stories, has progressed, I think, quite nicely, at least through all of our listening audience and our champions who are out there and the folks who dig the show. And thank you so much. You know, the 5-star reviews and engaging with you folks on our listeners group, which if you're not already familiar with the Facebook listeners group, it's facebook.com/Cigars and Sea Stories listeners. Go ahead and check that out. You can go to fb.com/Cigars and Sea Stories listeners. And just real quick here, Bennett. Couple of words on the past 2 years. What do you think, man?
I think it's awesome. It's crazy as shit, for sure. But things are good, man. I mean, it's fun. We have a good time. And this doesn't even work. It's just awesome, collaborating and chatting and just smoking and joking, bro. I mean, that's what it's all about. And whenever we have guests, one of the things that they always comment on is that it's not like they're being interviewed. They're just sitting around smoking and joking with fellow vets and buddies and shit that, it's awesome.
Oh, for sure.
That's the whole point, right?
For sure. Well, and I think what's nice about it also is in being veterans and the fact that we do have a different type of military training in the sense that I think we know how to draw stuff out of people as well, right? Like, hey, I wonder if I can turn this Haji into an asset. Oh, did I say that? Oh, my bad. Maybe. Oh. But the questions that we're asking are not structured questions. We do not have a spreadsheet full of questions to ask people. These are the things that we would be asking ourselves as fellow veterans in kind of, okay, so your experience was this, cool. The first 20% of a show is basically what you're up to now. And then the remainder elements of it are, how does that kind of tie back into what you did before in the past, but also where you're shooting for as sort of success in the future. And I really like for lack of a better way.
It's completely off the cuff.
Right.
I mean, we don't prepare for any show.
No.
I mean, other than maybe who is this person?
Well, and
obviously we have to know who the person is or what they do and whatever. But other than that, no, that's it.
I think that it's really easy to confuse a lockstep platoon going through their execution or through their planning process prior to executing. It's easy to confuse a lockstep platoon who has drummed out their SOPs for being the platoon who is acting cowboyish or ad hoc, or something like that. Like, we never used that term in the military or in the Marine Corps. I never used ad hoc. That was something that I had to learn when I got out. What we did all the time is everything's per SOP. Here's the frago because we have our SOPs. And I think that's the stage that we're at now. Doesn't it feel like that? Like, oh, yes, sweet. We've got some SOPs, right? It's like we hop on, we record, we do our thing, slides over to our editing staff. Fucking awesome that we have the editing and support that we do from Heroes Media Group. Which, by the way, they're on Veteran Motorsports, correct?
Veteran Motorsports is the car that they're on.
The NASCAR they're on? They're right on the hood, too.
No, they're on the back, one of the back quarter panels.
They are?
Yes.
I thought they were on the hood.
No.
I've been telling people they were on the hood. I apologize.
You are a moron.
I am. Every once in a while. I'm like the okayest Marine. Remember that t-shirt that came out?
The okayest. I'm the okayest.
I'm the okayest. Okay, like do you have your name stamped in to your waistband? Like, no, I don't, but I can fucking kill your ass at a long ways away. Like, why? No. Anyway, I was that guy. Over the past 2 years, honestly, the majority of our work has been centered around, at first, it was, let's see if we can deliver really, really rock solid content. And I believe that we have solid content, and you guys, the listening audience, have definitely shown us that. Man, those 5-star reviews are cool. Like, you guys are awesome. I love that folks take the time to actually, like, sit down and bang out a message. You know what I mean? That, to me, speaks volumes to the people who are a part of the show. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the easiest way to put it.
Yeah, man.
You care enough that you're willing to sit down, take time out of your busy schedule to be like, these dudes rock. Or, it was awesome listening to these guests. You know? Let's just read through a couple of these. You people rock. So, over the past 2 years, we've been banging out SOPs. At first, we started with, do we have solid content? Okay, cool. Now, can we bring that solid content to market in a sophisticated, more automated way to where it remains consistent so that your experience with the earbuds in or blasting through your car or whatever, however you listen to Scars and Sea Stories. I hope it's like fuck at the middle of you're at like a traffic stop, the windows are down because it's hot, and then just fuck. Anyway.
Yeah,
every once in a while, that's good. But what I love on here is we've got, for instance, Adam writes, I typically listen to Mike. Oh, I love this. Sorry, Michael J. Penny. And Bennett, while either at work or while driving to work. They're entertaining, engaging, and I respect like hell their mission to both connect veterans and highlight those who are doing great things in the world. Their format of fellow veterans shooting the shit is probably one of the best possible ideas for a veteran-oriented podcast/talk show, and particularly enjoy the general tone of the conversations presented, even if the subject matter for an episode is more on the serious side. They keep it as appropriately lighthearted as possible. If you're a current service member or veteran, I highly encourage you to check them out. See, that is awesome. That's fantastic, you know? And then seeing the fellow comments, you people rock. I can't get over it. I think you folks are just fantastic. And there are plenty more. I mean, Cigars and Sea Stories keeps this civilian mother of 3 listening day in and day out. Thank you. You know what? She's jamming in probably not a minivan. I don't know, but there's third row seating involved and probably soccer mom and about town jamming out to Cigars and Sea Stories. Bennett, that's pretty freaking cool, bro.
It's really funny is what it is.
It is. It's awesome. I think that's awesome.
It's awesome.
I've had civilians say, hey, I can connect with veterans now, in a better way. And that's the other thing. I mean, we're devoted to sharing stories with veterans. I think we've mentioned this before. The one quote-unquote non-veteran, if you want to consider it that, was Evan McMullen. And he was a CIA operative pounding the same dirt as us when we were downrange at the same time. And I thought he had some pretty decent sea stories, to be honest with you, bro.
He did. I
mean, talking about like Zero Dark 30.
Well, he's the only presidential candidate that would come on our show, too. So.
Well, right, yeah. And I mean,
just saying.
Let's be honest with you. The other ones didn't really serve their country at all. So
no, I'm
just throwing it out there. We typically, the politics are a little tongue in cheek. Sometimes we bump into politics, here and there. And of course, whenever we've got Tim on the show, he's always willing to throw down in a political forte.
For sure.
He is the correspondent there, such. But it's fantastic, being a part of this and being able to engage with folks who have great suggestions on guests. Which, by the way, this is another thing. If you go to cigarsandseastories.com, because a lot of you follow us on social media. It's at cigarsandc. We're on Instagram and specifically Facebook. That's what we've really, really narrowed it into. We, of course, have a Twitter presence, among other things, but and Google Plus, for obvious reasons. But our Cigars and Sea Stories listener group, that's fb.com/cigars and sea listeners. Here, let me make sure that I pull this up here. So that is where we engage with folks primarily, that's where we put all of our behind the scenes content. That's where we put all of our bonus content. So when you sign up for the Cigars and Sea Stories newsletter, you'll be able to see all the bonus content. You'll be in the mix. I mean, it's just that simple. So, But yeah, anyhow, the show over the past 2 years has been, let's bang out SOPs. Let's make sure that we've got a positive experience. Let's get some rock solid guests. And that's why, if you go to cigarsandseastories.com, straight onto the homepage, you'll see Suggest a Guest. And it's anybody who's out there you've seen who we've had on the show before. We provide on there a form. It's very simple to fill it out. If you see any additional links for the person who you would like to suggest, by all means, throw them in there. Very simple. It's on the homepage, cigarsandseastories.com. We also, because people are like, hey man, how can we help you guys out? So you've got Suggest a Guest, but you also have Recommend a Friend, which is on the homepage as well. And you can fill that out, and it's basically like an intro email to Cigars and Sea Stories, right? So we're not seeing that. You guys are sending that to them, sharing the love, so to speak. You know, it's better than, like, it's cool getting a Facebook share, don't get me wrong, but it's even cooler when somebody's like, hey, I highly recommend you listen to this podcast, and they recommend that via email. You know, I mean, that's like, that's
yes.
bitching. Anyway. So, being a part of the group, again, it's facebook.com. It's /groups/Cigars and Sea listeners. Again, that's fb.com/groups/Cigars and Sea listeners. It is a private group. We do that so that ISIS doesn't jump in. They probably already do. Those fuckers. Anyway. Anyway. So, that's me running my suck. On the past 2 years, we've been, of course, working in this as a collaborative, as Mike is sitting inside of the Cigars and Sea Stories headquarters with all of the goings-on that is around me right now, which I shoot images or shoot pictures and do all sorts of videos and stuff like that. We as a group are doing more of that, and we'll be sharing that across Cigars and Sea Stories. We encourage our guests and our listeners to share whatever material you want on the Cigars and Sea Stories listeners group. We of course keep it focused towards veterans who are adding value to the world. We highlight different businesses that are adding value. We do all sorts of stuff. Bennett, why don't you talk more about the social media? Because you do the social media. I'm the guy who's more engaged in we're both engaged in the WordPress, but we each play different roles. Tell the folks about the social media and some of these other different updates.
That's basically all that we do. I mean, like, I'm really focused on Facebook is what it really comes down to. To a lesser degree, Instagram as well, with just pictures and stuff. But the social media, I mean, we just look to collaborate with folks that are like us when it comes to veteran entrepreneurship, and then also Marine centric type stuff. So we'll post Marine stuff that's pertinent to the Marine community, and really just push to get you guys, value adding knowledge that comes out that I see.
Well,
sorry, go ahead.
Well, I say it this way also because you're the recon Bubba.
Right.
So everybody knows, all right, Bennett's on Cigars and Sea Stories and stuff like that, but Bennett does the majority of the reaching out through the other social media streams. I mean, Christ, man, you're way better at scoping out guests and...
Oh, yeah. Like, I don't know how the hell I do it. I guess my phone, my nose is just plugged into my phone. Right. Where I read so much every fucking day and still get shit done. I don't know how I do it, but I read a lot. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I literally have my ear to the ground constantly about new stuff that's happening in the veteran community, about veteran, I troll the shit out of stuff is the best way to describe it.
Well, yeah. And I think it's great because you provide lessons learned out of it as well on the show, which I've definitely heard come out.
And one of the things that I do too is that if I get something that I find that's new and piques my interest, then I literally just hack the shit out of them and go deep. I go as deep as I can to find shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The good, the bad, and the ugly. And it's not like I'm out there blabbing people's business, but I have my ways of researching who folks are and what they do and who they really associate with, and if they're good people or not. And because we have such a vast network, I also am able to vet a lot of people because I'll be like, all right, man. So what's this guy really like? Give me don't give me the shit. Don't fluff the shit up. Just give me the skinny.
Right.
And, that's one of those things. It's like, I really cherish those. I guess it's like being a reporter to an extent.
Oh, very much.
And I wouldn't say it's like I have informants. It's not like a police officer, but I have contacts that I have a very high level of trust with because they know if they tell me, no one else is going to find out. I mean, there's tons of shit I don't even tell Penny just because why? I'm not going to, it's, it's shit that he doesn't need to know, or it's personal information of other people. Then it's nobody else's fucking business. I have it. But it's not like I'm using it for evil and blackmailing people or whatever, because, that's just fucked up. So anyway, besides that, I don't want to go off on a tangent. That's literally what I do. I find out the intelligence on things and people, period. And it enhances the amount of value that we can bring to our community because I'm very, very easy. It's easy and quick to vet things when you know about them and you know the information.
Right. So recon guy over here has his ear to the ground all of the time.
All of the time.
Which is fantastic. And lots of lessons learned that come out of Bennett. But then what we also do is we'll take, for instance, business literature, because we're entrepreneurs, and developing 5paragraph.com. We were each diving into some other entrepreneurial texts for our own gain. Don't get me wrong, as far as learning additional avenues of entrepreneurship. I think that's kind of one of the funnest parts about entrepreneurship is you're always learning new pieces of technology, new best practices, but it fits within kind of that context, that mold. That's one reason why 5-paragraph business plan fits so well, is because we have an action-oriented template that is to say an outline, and then you just kind of plug in some of the different known variables, and then you plug in the different pieces of new technology that you might be using to execute.
Correct.
You don't need to change a 5-paragraph order just because we've got a new machine gun. Hey, look at that. You're employing a new piece of technology and you're going to incorporate that into your business. There's no reason to update your entire business plan. Unless it calls for it.
They were using it before they even had machine guns.
Right.
So, right. There you go.
I mean, I some variation. Now, don't get me wrong. The early stages of the operations. Yes. Well, that's because the history of the military and how we've done things, and this is Cigars and Sea Stories and 5-paragraph, just in wrapping things up here. We've gone from a linear method of living. Our whole society has gone from linear, and then right around post-World War II, it went into this explosion of agile through technology. And you can see it very clearly on the battlefield because we started doing small unit warfare, small unit tactics, based upon proxy wars that we were fighting across the globe, still continue to fight. But that's why we needed to revamp the 5-paragraph operations order. I mean, this was 35 years ago that they brought it out of linear into this more agile, nimble methodology. It's still, I think, harkens back to a conventional warfare scenario, when you think about the operations order to an extent. But now we've been fighting in small unit elements for so long, and our focus has always been on small unit leadership in the military, especially in the Marine Corps. It fits so nicely into business and into entrepreneurship because, of course, it's the self-motivated, initiative-based, so on and so forth. But it's also, we look for highest billet. What's the most responsibility you've ever been bestowed? And then the highest ability to instruct. Were you an instructor trainer? Do you have additional, curriculum development or formal school instructor and some of these other things? Because you can imbue knowledge upon a vast array of individuals who are all trying to learn the same subject matter in a given period of instruction. And then, boom, they're out the door. I've trained 300 people at a time. Like, wow, okay, you're valuable. So I share that in Cigars and Sea Stories also because that's a lot of what we're looking to be able to convey You did something in the military, great. That's all accumulative. Whatever you did in the military, you did for a reason. It was you who decided to go into these different areas, and it felt like you were along for the ride some of the time, don't get me wrong. But that is one sheet of paper in the overall chapter in the overall book. And how are you going to use it to your advantage in the future? That, to me, that's the real essence of Cigars and Sea Stories. Because it's that gentlemanly, like, mentor conversation that you're going to have mixed in with, all right, boys, this ain't no shit, right? There I was, deep in the heart of the jungle, when all of a sudden, right? You know what I mean? So, I really, it's a smoking and joking conversation that's akin to smoking and joking with your mentors. And what I dig about it is when we have a colonel, because I don't give a shit about rank anymore. I honestly don't care. So it doesn't matter who we have on. It's great in the aspect that we're all equals now. You know, you could be a colonel or a general or somebody like that. I'll give you the utmost in respect. Good on you for rising to that rank. But that doesn't do anything now. I mean, like, you know what I mean? So now we're on this different spectrum. What are you doing now? Are you in business? Are you in medical? What are you doing now? And how have you taken that military experience forward into the next avenue that you want to go down? Which, I dig it, man. I would listen to Cigars and Sea Stories, but then again, I'm biased. So,
yeah, me too.
And I'll get off my soapbox. I'm so passionate about this stuff. Dude, honestly, I need it. It's therapeutic in a sense. I mean,
for sure.
Just we'll wrap it up here. What are some of the other, of course, we had mentioned before, facebook.com/groups/Cigars and Sea listeners. Is there anything else that you'd like to draw focus or attention towards in our closing moments here?
No.
You're such a fucking asshole.
I'm done. I got nothing for you.
Oh my God. And I'm dying.
Listen to the previous 209 episodes that 210 right
200,
now.
yeah.
We've got published. By the time we publish this, it'll be like 213 episodes. So
I think we honestly, in all of the recordings that we have, including, because we have a lot of bonus content that hasn't hit the streets yet. And there's some other recordings that we've done before in the past, which would be fun to bring together. We've probably done upwards of 300 recordings total.
Oh, yeah.
Easily. Each one of them prepped. And then, of course, I mean, we've got the other stuff that's in the can coming forward. So I just say it like that because there's a lot going on. We want you folks to be a part of the conversation. Of course, tell a friend about Cigars and Sea Stories, but we want to hear your feedback. We want to know not just how we're doing on the show overall, but also who do you want to see on the show? Suggest the guests at cigarsandseastories.com. Recommend to a friend at cigarsandseastories.com. You can listen through our top 10 episode at cigarsandseastories.com, all on the homepage. And of course, sign up for the newsletter. Just be part of the conversation. Tell us what you want, and we'll happily oblige. If you'd like to join us as a guest, by all means. You got to be a veteran who's adding value to the world. Boom. Let's do this. So that means DD214 and you're out the door doing something. So, yeah, man.
Awesome.
God, I love this. Bennett, I love your body, baby.
Yeah, man.
Huge thank you to all of our sponsors, Heroes Media Group, Spartan Media, and VeteransList.us. Heroes Media Group, they're our network. They're fantastic. Look them up. They're all over the place. They're doing big things. Spartan Media, Jeremy Knopf, he's going to be coming out with a podcast soon, so we'll have him on. We'll go on. It's going to be awesome. Cross-collaboration. I love it. VeteransList.us, where you, as a veteran-owned business owner, can get a featured membership half off right now at VeteransList.us. All you got to do is enter in discount code CIGARSandC. That's discount code CIGARSandC, just like all of our social media handles. And you will slide right on into the rocking chair at VeteransList.us as a featured member alongside 190,000 veteran-owned businesses, which is just fantastic. I mean, it's like, I network across that thing, man. I mean, just check out VeteransList.us if you're an entrepreneurial type who's wanting to call around. There are a lot of other business resources out there. We'll have them on the show. They'll be part of the conversation. There's more organizational partners that we've got coming up. I mean, there is so much stuff that is happening right now. It's just insane. So thank you. Thank you for listening. Thanks for the 5-star reviews. You guys rock. And on that note, we cue the music.
Our flag unfurled to every breeze, from dawn to setting.